Hello, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about Helga episodes. This one's about Helga. The episode starts with Principal Wars getting a visit from a psychologist named Dr. Bliss who has come to observe the students at the school. Wars tries brushing her off on the idea that this school is free of any student with mental problems, but it's clearly done for the sake of what most people feel about psychologists, that they are unwanted and nobody ever wants to admit that they have a problem. Immediately after saying that, Helga comes marching down the hall and shoving kids out of the way, getting Bliss's attention as she made Helga the girl that she wants to study. Throughout Mr. Simmons' lectures, Helga continuously shoots spitballs at Arnold, where he has a lot in his hair by the time the class was given a break. Bliss, who was watching, also noticed Helga staring lovingly at Arnold despite Helga. What will help her talk to Helga is when she catches Helga hitting Brainy for his constant stalking and breeding on her, with Helga not wording it right when she is reported to Ward's office, where he and Dr. Bliss got her to do a after-school meeting with Dr. Bliss. Helga begins dreading this. The one thing she did not want to do is confess her feelings for Arnold. When Helga got home, her parents, who got the call for the meeting, immediately told her not to tell her therapist anything that was going on at home. Clearly, they are afraid that Helga might say something that will make them look like bad parents, which we all know that they are. They also do not help when they see Helga wearing a headpiece of Arnold that made them call Helga crazy and needed something to handle seeing her like that. Helga makes it to the center for her therapy session, and Phoebe is the only one who shows Helga the support that she needs to hear that seeing a therapist is. As the session began, Dr. Bliss let Helga say whatever she wants, since Helga got this mentality that she knows Bliss's game, but that's the real trap, as Helga is slowly opening up to Dr. Bliss, with the two eventually playing a jump rope together, which is really fun seeing Helga actually acting like a kid and smiling from having that kind of fun. Throughout, Helga pretended to be a therapist to hear Bliss's out. The moment that Bliss talks about her own sister, who she got some payback on, Helga started talking about her problem with her sister. Helga hates that Olga gets so much attention from her parents. She is popular, that all the guys wants to date her, and she acts like she's Miss Perfect with her going out to do the things most of us would not expect from a college girl to do, like how over the top her meal preparations are and taking care of the orphans. I even appreciate that when Helga's not in the room, Olga and her parents may as well have been their own sitcom. Olga and her parents are worse than ever with neglect. Miriam was supposed to have Helga's code, but she brushes it off saying that it won't go cold until later. That turned out to be wrong. Helga had to bring a can since no one's making her lunch. Helga explained that nobody in her house knows of her existence and that she would go crazy about if it wasn't for her obsession with Arnold, which she tries avoiding his name. Just as Helga tells Dr. Bliss that she doesn't want to talk about her family anymore, Bliss brought up the subject of Arnold. Learning that Helga blew over 50 spitballs at him, which makes me think Arnold is better than most since they will have lose control dealing with stuff like that. Dr. Bliss, of course, wants to discuss more about it since she knows that Arnold is special to Helga, even in a negative way, but they first arrive at the subject of Helga's relationship with her family. Recently, Miriam had forgotten her lunch again because she is busy drinking and she doesn't prepare Helga a decent meal. Then when it came to ball, he's too busy loving Olga and she is winning and accomplishing so much for him to not pay attention to Helga, which is where we get the backstory for Helga. On the first day Helga attended preschool, her parents are too busy oogling Olga, who is great with the piano. This moment really says that Olga and her parents are lost causes, as they are too into Olga being great at something than taking their second child to her first day of preschool. Helga ends up leaving all by herself, and we see this girl had to grow up way too fast, and she knows she can't even rely on her own parents to take care of her. While walking in the rain, she ends up walking in a bad neighborhood where if this wasn't for kids, this would be terrifying to walk through, with two shady guys and a homeless guy getting splashed with mud by a car and not even a dog showing the poor girl mercy. Then the very thing that may have saved this girl from a lifetime depression, Arnold, who used his umbrella to shield her from the rain and complimenting her pink bow, which would explain why Helga kept wearing it throughout the whole series. Helga, from that moment on, begins falling in love with Arnold, for both the nice gesture and one of the nicest compliments that she probably ever receives from anyone at that age. After Harold steals her crackers and makes fun of her for showing a loving face towards Arnold after he offers her his own, that Helga adopted her mean girl persona because she doesn't want people to ever make her feel helpless ever again. That's one of the best backstories to understanding a character, and it's one of my beginnings to loving some characters. Returning to the therapy session, Bliss still wants to know why Helga, who is trying to make light of her situation, is taking her frustration out on Arnold, who has done nothing to deserve her bullying. She then tells Helga that as her therapist, she is strictly under rules to never discuss anything confidential of what Helga says, and once Helga had made sure that she sworn to secrecy, Helga finally confessed her feelings for Arnold, that she loves him, expressing everything she would like to do with him, like traveling the world with him, and even open up his shop as she shouts that she loves Arnold. After confessing, Dr. Bliss assures Helga that what she's feeling is an everyday thing that many people feel about someone. Bliss knows that Helga is acting this way because the last thing that Helga wants is for Arnold to reject her feelings. She assures Helga that she doesn't have to tell Arnold her feelings until she's ready, and that is okay. Helga, of course, is happy to hear that. Bliss also gave Helga the green light to keep acting the way she's been doing as before, since as far as she's concerned, if Helga isn't exactly hurting anybody, then it's fine. Helga thanks Dr. Bliss for her help, and she even gives her a hug, something I don't think I ever seen her giving anybody in the show outside a few characters who we know deserve it. The episode ends with Helga bumping into Arnold and doing her usual thing to avoid her nervousness with him. She's glad that he still doesn't know her feelings, as well as her cutting Brainy some slack this one time because she's in a good mood. My final thoughts on this episode that Helga is one of the best characters I have ever seen. She is far stronger than what most people will give her credit for. Her entire family are the worst, no matter the episodes where she must be the one to give them a chance because that's what people do. These days now, there is not a single video where I don't see people wanting characters to break that fake family bond. If this wasn't for kids, no one would blame Helga if she cuts all ties with her family. Olga is too busy being in her own world to notice when something is wrong with her sister. Bob only loves talent, and Miriam always never provide Helga with what she needs. When Dr. Bliss tells her that it's okay to continue being her mean self, I know it's for the status quo to remain, but it's still bad that an adult has to tell her to keep acting bad towards others. We can all disagree a little bit in that since her attitude, if this was a little more mature, then it would be frowned upon no matter the bad story since there's only so much someone like Arnold can take from her and they don't know the cause of it. I still want them to be together, but wrong is wrong and we know it. I can't fall for someone who constantly tries to make me feel bad. I could sympathize and forgive it if I ever learn the truth, but that is probably as far as I will ever go. I don't mind the tough girl act though. That is what made her strong in both school and at home, and people who mess with you should be shown what's to come when they try. That I don't want to change. Seeing how Helga fell in love with Arnold was great, and maybe that's why she's the only one who can light what he's truly about without him needing to be the kind of guy that most men, what guys gotta do to get the girl. I know it started in her most vulnerable moment. I'm just glad that her love for him became genuine in all the episodes when Helga showed what she's willing to do to make Arnold happy. That's something that most had called an obsession had become something genuine when it mattered most. That's all I want to say, folks. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more.